the Lions.
Hey everybody, welcome to Game Day View, presented by Mercedes-Benz. Patrick Klebon here with Greg Rosenthal and Cynthia Freeland. Happy holidays to all of you. We hope you had a spectacular Thanksgiving, except if you're a Lions fan watching the Lions with family in town, Cynthia, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. I still love the Lions. This is going to happen. It just stinks what happens on Thanksgiving, you know?
And I apologize, for our producers and even Patrick, Cynthia, to bringing up your pain as a form of entertainment to
That's
start
okay.
the show.
A lot of people have like pain in the holiday season, so we're just playing into that, right? Like that's why therapists get employed.
There were some other things that went wrong for us. We had last week's Super Bowl rematch, an instant classic. Jalen Hurts ran in 2 touchdowns as Philly overcame a 10-point second-half deficit. The Chiefs receivers did Patrick Mahomes no favors throughout the game, including a huge drop by Marquez Valdez-Scantling that would have given KC the lead in the final minutes. Here it is. The Eagles won just like we all thought they would, right? Mistakes were made.
Eagles and Chiefs. It's the Super Bowl rematch we've all been waiting for. Hurts and Mahomes coming off bye weeks and looking like Super Bowl contenders again.
Well, this is a little awkward for me, at least. I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game 27-24.
Well, this is automatic. We saw this in the Super Bowl, as I said. They were 6 for 6. 2 of those went for touchdowns, just like this one here.
I just feel like Andy Reid's going to find a way to create open receivers.
I agree with you. I actually have an even bigger score than that. I have 27-23 in this matchup.
Good protection aired out. Valdez-Scantling dropped it.
28-26. Chiefs win.
Airs it out. Downfield, incomplete. And the Eagles take over. And they're going to ride out of here with a victory.
Yeah, go ahead. Meme us away. Shout out to our dear editor, Sean Kelly, who is an Eagles fan. Surprise, surprise. After we all picked against them and they won, they now play host to the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. Is anyone bold enough to pick against the Eagles, considering Sean Kelly could do that to us again, Greg?
Yes, I am bold enough. I have the Bills winning this week against the Eagles. Sometimes you make a wrong pick, you get it wrong on the show, but you're not really wrong. Were we really wrong last week about the Eagles, who got pushed around up front on both sides of the ball? These aren't the Eagles that I had picked 27 straight times with Jalen Hurts before last week. I'm going against them partly because they're playing Josh Allen this week. Look, Josh Allen, quietly having one of the best seasons of his career, and no one wants to admit it because if you add up the interceptions and the fumbles, which have been concentrated and some bad luck in there, yeah, it's been a high number. Also a high number, his completion percentage over expected, the highest of his career by a decent amount, and it passes the eye test. He's 3rd in PFF's grades week to week, and that throw last week to Khalil Shakir, that was enough to just make me feel young again, and he's going against an Eagles secondary. They're the reason I keep picking against the Eagles these last 2 weeks. I just don't trust them right now. I think the Bills are ready to flip their season around.
Well, I actually have the Eagles winning this one, 28-23. I'm worried about the Bills secondary. Obviously, a ton of people on the injury report, but if the Bills are going to upset the Eagles, they are going to exploit that secondary. And Dalton Kincaid is really worth mentioning. Going up to get a first-round pick on a tight end, some people are like, well, you already have Dawson Knox. What are we doing here? But this guy, since week 7, he has the 2nd most receiving yards over expected. That's at 69. That's a really big number and very important considering Dawson Knox hasn't been playing. And by the way, when they use shifts and motions, this is the eye candy that we're going to be seeing going forward. And if they get good field position like last week, I mean, listen, that really helps when you're starting at not at your own end zone. It's great.
All right, great. Also great, again, Sean's editing on that piece, calling us.
I want that clown outfit for real.
Clowns are
I do a whole
actually scary in the idea.
So scary.
Like, there's people walking around, we don't know if they're actually clowns. That's what's the scary part to me, as long as we can say. I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles, and it has nothing to do with clowns or anything like that. They are the #1 under center rushing offense, and they get that ground game going against the Bills defense that's number 30 in the league. Between the tackles, I think it's a huge game for DeAndre Swift. We saw him make those plays against Kansas City. Also, I think there's a get-right game for A.J. Brown, considering everything he's done after coming off a rough game. He and Jalen had some miscommunications. There was also a drop as well. I think he bounces back. But both quarterbacks are good. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, known for being mobile. One guy who isn't really known for it, that's Trevor Lawrence. And Trev showed off his wheels last week in Duval.
Travis Etienne lines up at the top of your screen. Lawrence instead looking left. Evades the initial sacker. Lawrence going to run for it. Lawrence, end zone, touchdown. There's some of that open field running ability from the quarterback.
Trevor and the Jags heading to Houston to take on C.J. Stroud and the Texans. The winner of this game is in first place in the AFC South. When the game's over, who's going to be in first place, Craig?
I say it's the Texans winning this one 24-21. Walker Rosenthal's favorite team, partly because they got a quarterback, C.J. Stroud. Look, I hate when we compare quarterbacks, and yet I'm going to do it. I think C.J. Stroud's playing better overall this season than Trevor Lawrence. He did the first time these two teams played, by the way, when the Texans put it on him. And I just look at last week's game. When C.J. Stroud, even though he threw 3 interceptions in that game, he did so many high-level things that I think he takes advantage of a secondary that is without Tyson Campbell this week for the Jaguars. And if C.J. Stroud's a rookie and he's playing better than Lawrence, I think I'd take him over Trevor Lawrence now and long-term. Why not?
That's spicy. I like it. I actually also have Houston winning this one, but only by 1 point. I have 24-23 in this matchup. We've been talking about rookies. We've been talking about these young guys making it happen. I would like to bring up an old head, please. Please show me the Jerry Hughes video, because this is the team that's number 4 in pressures in the National Football League.
Wow.
And this guy has a 16.6% quarterback pressure rate, and his get-off is 0.74 seconds. Let's talk about this for a second. All these young guys doing their thing. You got to bring in some of those not young heads to come in and make sure everybody knows what's up. But I really do think that it's the offensive line for the Jags where you've had some problems. You can't let them run the ball. They can't get play action going, and that spells a Texans win.
This is why I love Cynthia, just bringing the Jerry Hughes analysis.
Some of us are not, rookies anymore. We're seasoned veterans.
Yes. Shout out to all the people who are seasoned and making spicy takes like Greg. I don't want to go super spicy here. I will take the Jags 24-23 here, and it solves a lot of the issues that Cynthia was talking about. The fact that Trevor Lawrence did and was willing to flash his wheels last week against the Tennessee Titans. I think it opens things up for this offense, especially in the red zone. And Cynthia was bringing up the pressures. A little NGS insight for you. The Texans only convert 13% of their pressures into actual sacks. And the Jacksonville Jaguars had some troubles in the red zone this year. Trev running opens things up for Travis Etienne. I think it opens things up for Evan Ingram as well. And we've all got a similar score here. I got the Jags winning.
He just looks faster with that long hair running.
Yeah.
Like when you have long hair and you're running, you just look speedier.
Yeah, just open up the top like Wally West to just have the hair flowing as we move to the NFC North. We got a big matchup Monday night between the Bears and the Vikings. Check out some player props for that game. We got Josh Dobbs, Justin Fields, Hockenson, Addison, DJ Moore. Looking at those props, making some choices there. Let's dive into this one. The Bears and the Vikings on Monday night. Minnesota trying to keep pace in the NFC playoff race. Dobbs versus Fields, a fun one. How do you see it going, Cynthia?
I like Minnesota to take this one 26-22, but I have to bring up how good Justin Fields has been. So the wild card in this one, I'm looking at what's going on with the Vikings defense, and it's like they're just doing lots of wild things. So like bring the house with pressure, then they'll drop everyone into just really wild, fun, interesting things. However, that's going to be interesting matched up with Justin Fields' skill set. And by the way, against the Lions, he had career highs in rushing yards with 12 rushing attempts on designed runs and 55 rushing yards. Those are career highs for him in those specific areas. That could be an area that gives them troubles. I got to give him, his props here. The Bears, that was a good showing by the Bears. And if you go against the Lions and you win, then I'm going to always say it. I'm going to always bring it up and just add to at least the Bears didn't win.
I mean, they've been playing so well. I mean, the last 3 Justin Fields starts have been fantastic, which is why I'm picking against them and not feeling great about it. I think you can feel that. Yeah. Like, the Vikings win this game 23-20, but this isn't one Cynthia and I have a lot of confidence in. But I think the Vikings find a way because the Bears just find a way to lose games, and the Vikings have enough offensive weapons. Alexander Mattison and Jordan Addison. Let's start with Jordan Addison. To me, if he's not a number 1, he's like Jalen Waddle as a number 2. That is how good he is. And Justin Jefferson has a chance to play in this game. I don't think he's expected to play in this game. But even if he doesn't, his matchup against this secondary in Chicago, and they've been playing better as a defense overall, but ultimately they give up too many big plays. Then a week ago, finally, Alexander Mattison in this running game started to show up for Minnesota. I think that could really unlock this defense. I know the Bears' run defense has been pretty good throughout the season, but if they can be balanced with Josh Dobbs taking some attention away as a runner and a passer, I think they just have enough. They found ways to win close games, whereas the Bears, Patrick, usually find ways to lose close games.
And that's what happened against the Detroit Lions, and it's what's happened throughout this season, and that's also why I am taking the Minnesota Vikings here. Another close score for me, 24-22, because while the Bears defense is playing better, especially since the additions that they've got, I've also got to write this down coming up a little bit later in the show on the Bears defense. But let's discuss one thing that teams have not been able to do, and that is get number 15 on the ground, regardless of what team he's playing for. The Broncos did it late, kinda, in that game, but Josh Dobbs was spectacular. You've won a number. He's averaging 10 yards per scramble this year. 10 yards to first down. He's the leading rusher on 2 teams. Love the story.
Wait, what?
Don't necessarily. Yeah, he's still leading the Cardinals in rushing, leading the Vikings in rushing as of right now. Josh Dobbs is doing it, and folks, you know, it's meme away.
Give us our meme alerts. We're not afraid, kids.
I'm afraid of this one. This one does
I talked about
concern me. Coming up, Lamar and the Ravens winning 5 of their last 6 games. Will they keep things rolling Sunday across the street from us against the Chargers? Our picks right after the break.
NFL Game Day View is presented by Mercedes-Benz and the completely reimagined GLC. The all-time great SUV just got an all-time upgrade.
I have full confidence, like I've told you, and like I've told you from the beginning, I have full confidence in our way of playing. Full confidence in myself as the play caller, in the way that we teach, and the way that we scheme. Full confidence in that. We got to bring this group together and do it consistently. Okay, and that's where it's at. So you can stop asking that question, okay? I'm going to be calling the defenses, okay? So we're clear. So you don't have to ask that again.
It's time for the Drive to Excellence presented by Mercedes-Benz, as Brandon Staley was driven to say, don't ask me anymore about who's
Sorry, man. I'll stop asking you, man.
I guess so. Maybe he'll get another chance. That was after last Sunday's loss to the Packers. Things don't get any easier this week for the Bolts. They have the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football. Will Brandon Staley again be answering that question?
I think so. People are going to be asking him, how come you can't cover Odell Beckham and Rashad Bateman in this wide receiver group? I know they haven't always lived up to the billing this year. Nelson Aguilar, Zay Flowers certainly has been great all year. But I think this is a secondary where you spread them out and there's going to be communication breakdowns. Brandon Staley said during the week that he's going to be making changes in his secondary and he's looking at different things. And they already got rid of J.C. Jackson. They can't bring in extra players. I think this Ravens offense and really this team is going to go as their drop-back passing game goes. And for the most part, I see really consistent signs of progress. And I think this is a terrific matchup for the Ravens.
Well, I have a much closer game, but I still have 23 points, so it's the same on that. But I actually have Baltimore taking this one 25-23, a lower scoring game, as Baltimore figures out how to navigate without Mark Andrews, at least for this particular game. But when I'm looking at the opportunity against this Ravens pass defense, it is not great. They don't even need to blitz. They have 31 sacks without using the blitz. That's 7 more than any other team.
Wow.
I could name like everyone on this team has at least like 24 pressures, something crazy like that. And especially in the middle, and that's kind of the area where Austin Eckler likes to operate, they're really stout there as well. So I just don't think that this Ravens defense is going to allow anything crazy to happen as they adjust to a Mark Andrews situation.
Yeah, we all agree on a couple of fronts. I have Baltimore winning this game. I also think the Chargers are going to score 23 points, 28-23 for me. And Odell Beckham Jr. did describe himself as day-to-day. He's got the most targets since Week 7, 27 of these targets. And I think it's going to be even more valuable, especially without Mark Andrews, as Odell is operating in the middle of the field. They've had a lot of shots down the sidelines of Odell. They've had success in terms of drawing pass interference penalties, but they haven't necessarily connected on those. Maybe those are reserved for Rashad Bateman from here on out. We get to see Odell working in the middle of the field as he was against the Cincinnati Bengals and playing pretty well. Meme away, as we're all taking the Baltimore Ravens.
3 points. Give me a break.
Staying in the AFC. Don't look now, but the Broncos ripping off 4 straight wins. Russ is cooking Denver in the playoff hunt.
All out blitz on the way. Get it up, Russ. Russ throws the ball to the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown, Denver. That is is Courtland Sutton, his 8th red zone touchdown of the year.
The Broncos playing host to the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland winning 3 straight. They sit at 7-3. Cynthia, do they go to 8-3?
21-20 Cleveland is what the model spit out, which was very close and interesting, and it's really about defense. This year, more than ever, defenses have the advantage in terms of generating wins. That's just the way the pendulum swings. Some years it's offense, some years it's defense. This year it's defense. And Zadarius Smith, we talk a lot about Myles Garrett, but I know I talk a lot about Myles Garrett, but Zadarius Smith, he is also doing really well, and a key, important, and crucial part to making Russ not cook, along with a lot of other quarterbacks along the way. So I think you just have to give credit all along here. And by the way, we didn't forget about you, Zadarius Smith. Still love you.
I love him too, and I love when me and the model are on the same page here. This is our second underdog. We're both picking this week. I got the Browns winning this game, low-scoring game, 17-14, and I think it's just one of those weeks that we realize all the narratives about the Broncos offense have just been narratives. The Browns defense is the dominant group in this game, and it's not just Zadarius Smith. It's not just Myles Garrett. It's Agbo Okoronkwo. It's Alvin Tomlinson. It's this whole group working together. I don't know if any group does a better job with their stunts and their twists and
also
Jim
their army
Schwartz.
crawls.
Right, everything is just working, and this offensive line for the Broncos, not impressive overall, and Russell Wilson gets rid of the ball so quickly. His average depth of target is so short, shortest in the league, shortest of his career by far. I don't think that's going to work against this Browns pass rush, so overall, their defense is going to get it done.
Well, when you mentioned the offensive line being overmatched and Russ not necessarily having a lot of time, that's every week. That's every week for the Denver Broncos. I'm taking the Denver Broncos here.
They're not playing the Browns every week.
14. They're not, but if they are able to do this, it's going to be in the same fashion that most of those wins have come. We showed you the win against the Minnesota Vikings. It's Courtland Sutton just making huge play after huge. Look at the one-handed catch. He goes up and mosses a defender for the game winner. Every single time the Broncos need a play, he has made it in the red zone. 11 catches this season, 99 yards, and 7 touchdowns. I think possessions are going to be huge here. And I trust this offense, and particularly this receiver, to make a play. I don't necessarily know that I can get that over on the other side. As much fun as we've had with DTR. Yes, the stray bonds barking up a storm here. Could go either way. Could go really bad for me. Coming up, we'll see if it gets worse for me regarding the Falcons. I can't pick them right to save my life. They're a game back in the NFC South. Can Desmond Ridder and Bijan keep Atlanta's playoff hopes alive? Our picks for the Saints and Falcons coming up next.
Want more stats? Just ask Siri. Who leads the league in tackles?
Hey everyone, Scott Hansen here, and this is NFL Plus, where you can catch every play all in one place. You get access to live, local, and primetime games on your mobile phone and tablet. That's every in-market game with you on the go.
I never knew that was a thing.
Oh, yeah? And here's my favorite part. You can stream NFL Red Zone live every Sunday. What are you waiting for?
Game time, baby. Let's go.
Go to plus.nfl.com. Sign up today.
The Saints and the Falcons for first place in the NFC South. Desmond Ridder back under center for Atlanta. Derek Carr back for the Saints. Does that move you in one way or the other, Greg?
It does. That doesn't move me, but this matchup does move me. Like inside, there's two things I know. That number one, the Saints-Falcons, best rivalry in the entire NFL measured by fan hatred and memes and tweets. I just love it. Number two, Bijan Robinson is going to go off down the stretch, and it's going to start in this game against a surprisingly mediocre Saints run defense, 23rd in the league in terms of giving up yards per carry. I thought the game before the bye for the Falcons, where they gave Bijan 22 carries, was telling. The governor is off. They're going to let Bijan Robinson dominate touches, and that can only mean good things for this Falcons team that hasn't run the ball great this year, but I think this is the matchup that they get it done. Both of these teams deserve to be 5-6. So that's why they're going to meet in the middle. Neither of these teams deserves to have a winning record right now.
Okay, well, I too have Atlanta in this one, but my score is only 24-22. I want to talk about Jesse Bates. I pretty much just wanted to use Jesse Bates in this offseason acquisition that has really paid dividends to talk about how the defense has changed this season. They brought in Ryan Nielsen, who came from
New Orleans.
Saints, right. And he knows the type of things and the type of principles that the Saints offense will try to run, especially now no Michael Thomas, so some changes. And that gives you a big leg up, especially with a guy who has shown, like Jesse Bates has, year in and year out, that he can really handle a lot of different looks. He's really versatile. He's really smart. Great pickup for them, and it's a great opportunity here to help his defensive coordinator avenge his old team.
The revenge game is an opportunity there. I'm glad that you guys both picked the Falcons because it helps confirm my priors, because I don't know what to do with the Atlanta Falcons or the Saints. I did take the Falcons here 23-21.
Oh, wow.
Basically, because they're at home. I think there are those out there, here's one thing I do feel confident about, who think Alvin Kamara might have less than 40 receiving yards, a number that he's hit in 3 of the last 4 games. I almost took the Saints here. I don't know. Derek Carr's back. Does that move me? They asked Alvin Kamara what it means to them. He's like, well, he's our starting quarterback, so I guess it means something. After that rousing endorsement, I just feel good about Alvin Kamara getting the receiving yards, but we're all on the Atlanta Falcons. And
were you going to pick them if Jameis Winston was starting the Saints or the Falcons?
I think I would have.
Wow.
I think I would have.
Saints. And by the way, Saints fans, you're getting memed alert as a 1.5-point favorite against a 4-6 team. To paraphrase my friend Dave Damashek, we didn't do this to you. You did this to you.
I think most Saints fans.
I'm just saying, like, it's sad.
They're not going to be upset with us. They're like, yeah, okay. Considering
okay.
the circumstances.
Sure.
We'll be fine with it. It's time for Quick Picks, presented by Zillow. The Bucks and the Colts. Baker Mayfield versus Gardner Minshew. A titanic matchup of quarterbacking. Greg, where does that take you?
It's got to take me in the end to Tampa. Baker Mayfield, I'm taking them to win 26-23. I don't know why this game more than any all season I flip my picks throughout the week, about 7 different times. I'm landing on Tampa. Go with my gut. Partly because of Yaya Diaby. I just want to get him in the show. That's the main reason I'm picking him. Ever since I brought up Yaya Diaby a whole 7 days ago, he went off and had like another couple sacks. And Kalijah Cansey there also playing really well over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So Yaya, Kalijah, it's all happening for Tampa. I find this game extremely difficult to pick. There's a lot of injuries for Tampa, but I'm leaning Bucs.
All right, adjust Greg there for Greg taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Patriots and the Giants. Bill Belichick hasn't named a starting quarterback. Is that fact, that trick up his sleeve, enough to get the Patriots to win, Cynthia?
Yes, it is.
Whoa.
A 1-point win, 17-16. Is what my model forecasts. Why? Because of the reliable run game for the Patriots. He may not have named a starting quarterback, but we know Ramondre Stevenson is there. And we also know that Ezekiel Elliott can punch it in should he be asked to along the goal line as well. So it's not to say that I don't care which quarterback. It's not to say that it doesn't matter. But the Bill Belichick, we're not going to tell you. This means that I think this one's personal. You know the Giants are not necessarily a thing that he likes to go up against. There's some, pretty important games that they've had in this history of this rivalry. So Bill Belichick gets it done.
I think considering that, I don't think it's Bailey Zappi here, Greg.
No, it's definitely. I think it's definitely Mac Jones. He kind of hinted at it.
I mean, you'd think so, right?
And the Giants are so annoying that they can even beat the Patriots by losing here. Even though I picked the Patriots as a Patriots fan, I want them to lose. I want one of those quarterbacks in the draft. Let's go.
The fact that Mac Jones would be starting this game, which we all think he should be, kind of highlights the absurdity of the in-game situation in Germany. Sorry, Greg. Let's go to the Panthers and Titans in Nashville. A rookie quarterback battle between Bryce Young and Will Levis. And I actually prefer the Panthers here, winning their first road game 18-17, because it's going to happen at some point. I think the Carolina Panthers have shown promise. There's been some crucial turnovers from Bryce Young. But over on the other side, it's kind of an opposite situation for Will Levis, who came in throwing bombs, having a whole bunch of success, and things have slowed down a little bit. And Ejiro Evero's Panthers defense has been fairly solid, but I do think in a low-scoring game, perhaps Bryce and Adam Thielen could string it up together enough plays and knock off the Tennessee Titans in Nashville.
I could be wrong, but I think Patrick called Carolina's one other win this season. So that's good if you're watching the show. And then another thing that would be bad, though, for Patrick, the Titans, it's past Thanksgiving. They have not lost the game yet at Nissan Stadium. They're unbeatable there. 3-0.
Oh, yes, because that is exactly how stats work.
Yeah, they can't. Numbers do not lie. Sometimes. Coming up, we're going to the desert for an NFC West showdown. Can Matthew Stafford keep the Rams' postseason hopes alive versus those frisky Cardinals with Kyler back? Our picks coming up next. NFL Sunday Ticket now starting at $80. Watch every game every Sunday exclusively with NFL Sunday Ticket in YouTube TV. Thanksgiving week sale ends Monday, so sign up now. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, visit NFLSundayTicket.com. We got the Rams and the Cardinals in the desert. Kyren Williams and Cooper Kupp both expected to play for LA. Does that lead to a win for them, Cynthia?
It does for me. 23-21 is what I project in this matchup. I want to talk about Matthew Stafford and what a difference he actually makes. We talked about Kyler Murray coming back and how big of an important factor that was for the Cardinals. Matthew Stafford for this Rams team, this guy has been just so underrated. We don't talk about him among the best. Since that Super Bowl year, we don't really sit there talking about, hey, this guy is so good. The deep pass is always available. He puts it outside the numbers better than any other quarterback, and that's a hard thing to do, especially with the likes of Josh Allen's and the Patrick Mahomes of the world. But when you're watching the reliability of him, especially down deep, that makes an explosive play a threat at any point. And while I've seen some good things from the Arizona defense, I haven't seen enough good things to overcome the things that Matthew Stafford can do.
Yeah, I love Stafford in this matchup, especially with Cooper Kupp playing. I have the Rams winning 24-22. Cynthia and I on the same page again. We're threading the needle, which shows we're not entirely confident in the Rams, but we're going to take them in a matchup that Sean McVay has done great, partly because he runs the ball. And Kyren Williams is back for this matchup. And the last time these two teams played, Kyren Williams went for over 150 yards in a game. He actually got hurt, and it kept him out for more than a month since. But their rushing attack just makes a lot more sense when Kyren Williams is back there, just very solid and steady. And when you're running the ball well last week with Royce Freeman, you know you can run it even better with Kyren Williams. So I think they're returning to that Rams balanced attack. You got Stafford going deep when you need to, and you got an ability to run the ball. But again, just form lately, the Cardinals are trending up. I'm not sure the Rams are. Nothing would surprise me in this game, I got to admit.
Shame on you guys for a 2-point win. I got a 3-point win. I'm super confident in the Rams. And it's not just the fact that Cooper Kupp and Kyren Williams will be back. Hopefully they'll be back and healthy. But if they aren't able to go, let's just celebrate again the rookie and Puka Nacua and the things that he's doing here in 2023. Kupp goes down. Puka starts making plays. He's making plays with him in. The offense just running through number 17, and it's not even the point of a surprise anymore. The defenses are paying a ton of attention to Puka, and he's still getting it done. So shout out to Puka Nacua, who I think will be a huge factor as the Rams get a 3-point win. Because I believe, Ellis, I believe in your Rams.
I mean, he's making an impact, too. Puka Nacua at the Lakers game the other night. They show him on the big screen. The crowd goes crazy.
As they should.
Celebrity Puka Nacua. He looks like a member of One Direction. Now he's getting treated like one. I'm just saying.
Yeah, all right. Shout out to One Direction. It's a throwback. Let's take a look at some player props for this NFC West showdown.
What boy band do I know? I'm an old person.
No, you're young at heart. That's why we're looking back to One Direction. Kyler Murray at 261.5. Matthew Stafford at 1.5 passing touchdowns. James Conner and Kyren Williams right around 64 rushing yards. And Cooper Kupp, the number sitting at 70.5 for receiving yards. Speaking of some player props, let's go ahead and take a look at some more of them, starting with the Bills and the Eagles. Big matchup. We already heard Greg believes in the Buffalo Bills. Will Jalen Hurts have more or less than 282 total yards passing and rushing combined?
Well, I'm wearing the green number 1, so you know I'm going more. I think the Eagles lose this game, but I think it's going to be a score fest. I don't really trust this Bills defense on a down-to-down basis. I absolutely trust Jalen Hurts and the way he is playing right now. There's injuries in the Bills secondary. I really believe that the route to winning this game for Buffalo is 35-31, a score like that. And so that means plenty of fantasy points, plenty of yards for Jalen Hurts, and Patrick is right. You know A.J. Brown off an 8-yard performance is going to get his.
All right, so more there, despite the fact that Greg has the Bills winning this game. For the first time all year, Cynthia picking the Bills to lose, so more or less than 1.5 passing touchdowns for Josh Allen.
This one says it's going down. I think that's a fun one. I don't know if I usually get this. So, more. I think it's going down, but actually up. We're number one. Yeah. Get it? I don't even really know. I don't know what it's going down means. Like, it's going to happen. More than 1.5 passing touchdowns is going to happen. This is a team that really relies on the pass. As much as they'd like to get to the run, it is even short passes to running backs that makes a big difference. And by the way, those count for receiving touchdowns.
Yeah, they count. Touchdowns are good. A.J. Brown just had 8 yards receiving last week against the Chiefs. The number for him is 82.5. He only had 8 yards last week, but whatever. I like this.
Hey now.
I think we're going way over that particular number, especially considering, just look at the streak that A.J. Brown had of all those 140-yard receiving games. Even if you go back and watch the Monday night game, there was a ball that goes off his hands, and then there was another opportunity where he thought he had a touchdown. Jalen couldn't see him because he's just throwing the route, and those two are talking about it on the sideline. I just think the number goes way up there. Let's move to the Jags and the Texans. Again, a matchup for first place in the AFC South. Will Trevor Lawrence, Greg, have more or less than 1.5 passing touchdowns?
See, we're not using any less today. Let's throw it. That was a great one. We're going more Trevor Lawrence. I have them losing this game again. But again, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. They threw the ball well a week ago. We talked about on the show how they've been throwing the ball so short all season. And Zay Jones, I know he didn't have a big game last week, but his presence allowed them to free up what Calvin Ridley does, move him, and the average depth of target and the play action usage was all way up for the Jaguars. So again, maybe I'm just rooting for great games because we had some blowouts over Thanksgiving and Black Friday, but I think this is a score fest, and I think Lawrence gets those 2 touchdowns.
I'm with you on that one. I think that, especially because there are some questions at the linebacker level for the Texans, so that would leave a nice hole open for whichever one of the pass catchers they decide. They play roulette and they figure out which one. It's you today. It's you today.
It's
not good for fantasy.
Right.
It's good for their team though.
Okay, feeling better about my Jags pick then. So I think we'll C.J. Stroud pass for more or less than 272 yards.
I'm also going.
Ooh, that was pretty good.
No lower today. Sorry, I almost hit someone back there. I'm going higher in this one for C.J. Stroud. This is another team that really leverages the pass really well. Obviously, we saw Devin Singletary get started last week, and I do think he'll be impactful in this matchup. But C.J. Stroud likes to throw the ball, and he actually throws it with really great precision. They've got a lot of trust among that receiving core, and I don't think they're going to stop. Do what got you here.
So I'm really curious how the Jags defense plays in this game. What's the real Jags defense? For the most part, they've beat up on poor competition, but struggled against the Texans first time around, really struggled against the 49ers 2 weeks ago. Their pass rush hasn't been consistent enough. Josh Allen is great, but this Texans O-line, since they got healthy, has been one of the better groups in the league.
It's kind of a double-edged situation because if you watch them against the 49ers, and now they're going against D'Amico and Bobby Slowick, of course you could look at it and say, well, they've got experience against these guys that are kind of operating the same system, or you could say that the Niners ran all over.
No, that makes me feel better about my Texans.
Okay. Well, we got one more, and again, the segment is called More or Less, and so that implies that there are 2 options. There aren't 2 options. Travis Etienne rushing for 67.5 rushing yards. I'm going with more. We'll all more today on Game Day View. I think looking back.
Merry Christmas, all of you.
It's Thanksgiving.
We're just coming early.
We're going back for
second
that second plate. I was regretting that at one point last.
But there were fantasy managers that were a little upset. They were like, Travis Etienne didn't get in the end zone. Well, that's because Trevor Lawrence did. These guys are fine, allowing each other to score touchdowns. I think there are more points available for the Jags. And again, it's not the Niners. I recognize it's D'Amico and Bobby Slowick, and we're looking at a team that's played very well. This is not the San Francisco 49ers.
All right.
More.
Oh, that was a bad one for me.
Still to come, Patrick Mahomes receivers had a case at the dropsies on Monday. Will KC rebound Sunday against the rival Raiders? Our picks for that one coming up next.
We aren't really just Kansas City's team. We're America's team.
The Raiders are coming at you. We're going to take what we want.
Here come all the Raiders. Holy Toledo. It's a free-for-all. Pump it in there, baby.
Don't worry about anything else. You just go whip the other team.
End zone catch for touchdown, Raiders. Touchdown, Tony Gonzalez. Missed sack by Derek Thomas. 6th sack of the game. Down the middle, Browns got it. Marcus Allen with the touchdown. John Madden goes on the shoulders of his players. This team is the greatest in the universe.
There's only one thing that counts. Just win. We're going to do whatever we have to do to win.
Let's go play football.
Oh, it's time for Pizza pregame predictions delivered by Little Caesars. Big-time rivalry game Sunday in Vegas. The Chiefs and Raiders. KC coming off of the loss Monday night to the Eagles. Do they come back and take it out on Vegas?
No, I mean, oh, yes, they do. I mean, because what the Raiders haven't done in this matchup is just win, baby. It's 31-16. It's Chiefs winning this game in a wash. I think there were a lot of positives to come out of that game, including the running game, in terms of how the Chiefs dominated Philadelphia on Monday night. When you are pushing around the Philadelphia Eagles up front on both sides of the ball, especially in the running game against that Philly D-line, I came away thinking, wow, there's a lot of really strong ingredients for this team to go win a Super Bowl once again. Great line play, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, a strong running game. That is a recipe to not only win the AFC West, but to keep winning in the playoffs, even though the receivers have been letting him down. Pacheco just runs so hard, and I think the Raiders are going to do everything they can to sell out to prevent Patrick Mahomes from having a big day, and Pacheco ends up being the guy who beats him.
I like that. I have Kansas City winning, but only 8 points. 26-18 is my final score. I want to point out something really good about the Raiders defense. I haven't said much nice about the Ravens defense or Raiders defense, and I'm going to start right here. They're able to be good copycats. What do I mean? They look at what happened to Miami and where the Bills were able to beat Miami, and they just copycatted it. They did kind of all of these things where you're like, let's keep it really simple, but let's just like look what those other guys, let's cheat off their test. Right? Like, let's just see and get the answers right here so that we can go back to letting Max Crosby just absolutely gash you with the pressure and getting to, look, I have an 8-point win. I'm not suggesting that it's going to change the outcome of the game, but I will say it's a nice uptick. They've got a lot of things there that are nice pieces and foundations for whatever happens going forward. So a good thing for the defense?
Yeah.
Good copycats?
One problem with that foundation, Max Crosby is doubtful for this game on Sunday, and so I think I had the Chiefs winning anyway, 24-19. You go back, the Raiders had lost 5 consecutive games against Kansas City in 2020. They went in there and drove around after the game in a bus in celebration. They beat the Chiefs, and since then they've lost 5 more games consecutively against Kansas City. And I think a big part of the offense this time around is going to be Kadarius Toney. He got these 4 touches against the Eagles, and you're, of course, thinking back to his incredible punt return that he had in the Super Bowl. He runs into his own offensive lineman. That's part of the reason that play didn't necessarily work. But considering the way that the season started and Kadarius Toney was dropping balls and people were wondering what's going to happen, well, the rest of the receiving corps had that game on Monday night. And I think there's going to be more opportunities for 19 to make some plays for Kansas City. Let's move on, take a look at some of the lowest over-unders of the week. Leading the way is that Titanic matchup between the Patriots and the Giants, an over-under of 34, but also featured on that board, just a point and a half different, the Steelers and Bengals, expected to be one of the lowest scoring games of the week. Jake Browning is starting for Cincy with Burrow out for the remainder of the season. Who wins this one, Cynthia?
Well, this one gets won by Pittsburgh, 19-17. But I want to talk about Jake Browning and what you're going to see from him that looked a little bit different from Joe Burrow. And namely, it's running, scrambling, rushing, making second chances happen with his legs. He had plus 12 rushing yards over expected last game, so that's actually more than Joe Burrow has all season long if you add together all of his games. So I'm looking at Jake Browning, and they're probably going to leverage his legs a little bit more. While I don't think that'll change the outcome of this matchup, I do think it's something to watch going forward. And if you're really desperate in fantasy, look for his tight end. That's who he seems to look for, Tanner Hudson.
Yeah, I had a really hard time picking this game. I, too, went with the only score possible for this game. It's 19-17 Steelers, and it's ultimately because the group I don't trust in this game, surprisingly, is the Bengals defense. They have given up more explosive plays this season than any team in the NFL. How is that possible? The whole point of their defense was supposed to be preventing explosive plays. And then I look at the injury report. T. Higgins is a big loss for them at wide receiver. But maybe just as big is Cam Taylor-Britt is out at cornerback. He has been their best player in the secondary by far this year, a true #1 cornerback. They're struggling at safety. They're struggling at the other cornerback positions. This should be the week that the Steelers get something going in the passing game.
And they did make the change at offensive coordinator, much to the celebration of a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Considering that, again, 1917 is the only score that would be available
This is a double
for us
meme alert.
to pick, as we've all got the same exact score. And I'm not even looking at the offense. I'm not looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I'm looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers special teams. Chris Boswell banging kicks through. Remember the pre-Chris Boswell era in Pittsburgh? Most Steelers fans don't want to even think about that. And Presley Harvin Jr. pinning the other defense back, the other team back. And of course, this is what that former Husky is going to have to be dealing with in terms of the starting field position, which hasn't been great for the Pittsburgh Steelers opponents. 1917, guys.
So are you saying Presley Harvin is like a Husky, former Husky?
No, we're talking about Jake
Browning.
Jake Browning.
Jake Browning.
We love Huskies in my family. Husky.
Huge Husky fan out here. Shout out to Gordy. All right, coming up, we got really bold predictions. Very, very bold predictions. In fact, get a pen. You're going to want to write this down when we come back.
Yeah, you are.
Get your game day started Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern with NFL Game Day Morning.
Right up the gut. Touchdown, Eagles.
Philly made a statement when they took down the champs in Kansas City on Monday night. Are the Eagles now the clear-cut favorites to win it all? On the other side of the Keystone State, the Steelers' offense is looking like, well, the Keystone Cops.
Kenny Pickett gets drilled.
Is Kenny Pickett the problem, or will a change at offensive coordinator propel Pittsburgh's offense? And as he prepares to face Patrick Mahomes, Raiders pass rusher Max Crosby sits down for a film session with Ravens legend Terrell Suggs in the latest NFL Generations. All that and so much more Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Looking forward to seeing Cynthia Freeland on Game Day Morning, as well as the rest of the show. It's time for Write This Down as we get to some predictions for Week 12. Greg, fire up.
I could choose so many different ways that the Ravens will make you proud on Sunday. One of them will be scoring more than 26.5 points. I could also give you the Ravens winning by more than 3 points, but let's go with the offense because this running attack is one of the best in the league, maybe the best, one of the best that we've seen in a long time. They have extra rest coming into this game. That always helps. They're going against the Chargers defense. That really helps, and I just love this offense to maybe go over 40. So forget 26.5. Let's just keep racking it up over there across the sideline.
Okay, 40 points for the Chargers. I'm going to have 7 points, well, I guess 6 points for Adam Thielen, who I think scores a touchdown against the Tennessee Titans secondary. It is a very leaky secondary. They're much better at stopping the run than they are stopping the pass. So I'm looking at Adam Thielen, and there you go, Patrick. That's a nice little nugget for yours, because didn't you pick?
Yeah, I picked the Carolina Panthers again. It's a lot of stray bonds.
I'm going with like all old heads today. As many old heads as possible.
As somebody whose 40th birthday is coming up very soon, I appreciate all the old folks as well.
You're the young one on this show.
It's 365 days for everybody. Speaking of numbers, Montez Sweat will have at least a half a sack against the Vikings on Monday night. Josh Dobbs holds on to the ball, trying to make plays. I think Montez Sweat gets in there and gets over 8 sacks.
Tell us the truth. Season. Tell us the truth.
Well, the Commanders got rid of Jack Del Rio, and so I think a former Jack Del Rio player is going to have a
exactly.
Whoa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is this like a Jack Del Rio revenge game? My brain is
by proxy.
Yeah, kind of. Even though he's not.
No, I think it's perfect. Chase Young as well. I think it's
he's
great.
Involved in my head. Thanks for being involved with us and watching Game Day View presented by Mercedes-Benz. For Cynthia and Greg, I'm Patrick. We'll see you next week.